Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is part 7 of the Stop Buying Bee series. We're going to be adding the queen cells into these colonies. It's late in the day, it's rainy, so we're trying to get it done pretty quick. If you'll notice this box over here on my right and your left, we did that to save time earlier today to make them feel queenless, because they were just over this excluder to even out the amount of bees in the boxes. So that one's now queenless on its own. This box here, the top blue box, is queen right, and the white box, the medium on the bottom, is queenless over a double screen board. This is the problem colony we've been having since coming out of winter. We're hoping to remedy that today. They are strong, no issues with that. But we're gonna pop them open real quick, give them a look. I'm not using any smoke because I don't want to disturb them much. I want this colony to accept that cell as readily as possible, more or less. I don't want any disturbance in here. Now keep in mind, there's no brood in this colony, so I'm just going to put that cell straight down in the middle where I think she's going to be the warmest. And to do that, I take the frame completely out. It's better not to wear gloves whenever you're installing queen cells, but on a day like this, I'm going to wear gloves. Okay, we've got our frame here, and it's nice to put it in with some brood if you've got it. But if you don't have brood, you don't have brood. And what we done, if he'll zoom in up here, just to bring these cells a few feet out of the house, all we did is put it in a little Tupperware container with some bottles of warm water, and that's plenty enough. It's not real cold out here anyway, so I'm not worried about them chilling or anything like that. So I'm going to grab this cell very gently. I'm going to hold this frame in my hand. I'm going to give this cell a once over one more time. Push it down into the cell protector very gently, just to make sure it's still in there. I'm going to blow the bees out of the way, because I don't want to put her in a bunch of honey or anything like that. And I'm going to install this cell right here into some old drone comb. That's all I'm going to do with it. I'm going to close this hive up, and hopefully in the next 2 days she'll have merged, and we'll be able to come back and check them again. So I'm gently going to push those frames together. I'm going to close these back up. Real gentle. This time of night, bees are real protective of their colonies. In rainy weather, they don't want to be bothered at all. But when you're raising queens, sometimes you don't have a choice. You got to get those in there. One more thing I'm going to add to this colony is some pollen supplement. And they don't need a lot, but I want the bees to feel like they have more than enough. And this colony is pretty good, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. Gorged bees that have plenty tend to accept queens better. I'm just going to gently brush these bees out of the way. Even though there's pollen in these colonies, they'll benefit from this extra pollen supplement. And I'm just going to push my hive tool down through the frames and open it up so they can get to it from both sides, just like that. I'm going to cover my queens back up with the water in here real gently. I'm going to slide them down. And I'm going to close this colony up. Just like that. I'm also going to give them some sugar syrup to work on. And that one's taken care of. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this top box is queen right. Don't need to worry with it. I'm simply going to pop it off the double screen divider board. I'm going to set it right here real gentle. I'm going to look down here for my queen. I don't see a queen. She's marked with a yellow dot, so I know she's not in there, or on the top of it. I'm going to pop this loose. I got some bees hanging out on top. Give them a shake down. Still got some up top. A little bit of water on that board, but it's not going to hurt anything. Now, I disturbed this colony more than I should have probably just by doing that, but it's getting dark. They've got a sugar brick on. Just going to shake that off real quick. Set that over here to the side. And we'll open this colony up to the center. And what I'm doing is I'm just looking where most of the bees are at. And that appears to be right here on this frame. I'm going to come over here again, get another cell out. Very gently cover that back up. I'm just going to check. They're in queen cell protectors. And what that does, that keeps the bees from chewing them down. I'm going to take this frame out just like so. I'm going to look for a place to put her in here. And this is a harder frame to do it with because it's full of stores. So I'm going to look at the other one, see what it looks like. See if it's any better. Okay, we got some pollen up in the top. So that's where I'm going to put her. I'm just going to gently push that cell protector in. I said I was. There it goes. I'm going to set this back down into the colony. Real gentle. And I'm going to ease this frame over together just like that. Okay? Missing a frame in this one, but that's okay. We'll come back later and put one on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. We got our cell installed into this colony. We put some pollen supplement on it, and we also gave it, left that sugar brick on, and we're going to put a feeder rim back on just to give us some extra room in here, because this colony is actually, I don't have a liquid feeder for this colony, so I'm going to take this colony loose very gently, take it off the bottom board there, set it here. We'll give these bees a shake because this one's going to need all the help it can get. Put it back in its original spot. I'm going to put my queen right colony here on the bottom. Just like that. I'm going to open the top. And since I'm wanting this colony to grow as well, I'm going to take another pollen supplement patty. And some syrup. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to stimulate these bees as much as possible to grow, because we need them to grow fast. So I'm going to give them a couple quarts of 1-to-1. Because it's going to be a few days before we're gonna have some rainy weather for the next few days. I'm gonna cut this supplement patty in half. Just like that. I'm gonna put it directly over the top of the brood nest. They really don't like this. A smoker would be more preferable. But they're just gonna have to deal with it today. We ain't got the smoker out. I'm gonna poke some holes down in it. Rain, rains. It wouldn't surprise me if it started snowing. Alright, we're gonna put our double screen board on. We're gonna try to get any bees off the top of that because we don't want to smash any. We're just gonna mash that down. Well, I said we were. As much as possible anyway. And we're going to take our split we just made. That don't look good to me though. Hold on a minute. Something's keeping this from going down. And I'm guessing it's going to be that patty. So what I may have to do is just come in here and flatten it out some more. This is turning into a video about what not to do as a beekeeper, honestly. That's still not down all the way. So it's not working too good. I think that could have been what was holding us up. I'm hoping anyway. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's getting dark. All we did simply reverse these boxes because I didn't have a way to feed this colony sugar syrup up on top. And that's all we did. The top box has got the queen cell in it now. The bottom box is queen right. And that should be good. Now we're on to this one. Same thing. We're going to feed it. Set these cells very gently down here. We're going to take this top off. We've been having technical difficulties too. Our batteries keep dying, so we apologize for that. Okay, now keep in mind this one is going to be smaller and they're going to be clustered around that brood, so I'm going to have to come in here a little bit and I'm going to have to find a frame of brood that's got some larvae on it so they keep that cell warm. I don't think it was this one. Yeah, okay, this is one. And there's the other one. So I'm going to take my cell very gently out of my little temporary incubator. I'm going to hold this over here. I'm going to make sure she's down inside here, just so they can't chew it out. And I'm going to insert her right here in the frame. I'm just checking to make sure there's no honey or nothing like that. And in she goes. And now I'm going to drop her back down into this colony. And keep in mind the temperatures aren't too cold right now. We're in the 60s right now, and I'm not expecting to have any issues keeping the queen warm or anything. But if you are, you would want to wait later in the season, obviously. But one thing I am concerned about is the drone population. I've seen a few here and there, but we're hoping and have our fingers crossed that there's enough drones out there to get these queens mated properly, we want them to take off, and that's why we're starting this series so early, is because we're going to try to push these bees as hard and as fast as we can to get what we want done. I'm going to give this colony some pollen supplement also. Just to do that, I'm going to scrape this burr comb off the top, being gentle. The least disturbance you can have when you introduce a cell, the better. And it just got dark on us, is what happened. So keep that in mind. Try to work during the daylight if you can. We're going to brush these bees off gently like that, and we're going to drop this patty right here. I'm going to cut it down so they can access it. Excuse me. I'm going to give them some syrup in their division board feeder, but I'm not going to give it all to them because they don't have enough bees to really come over here to get to it. So we may actually have to clean that out. On a good warm day they may get to it, but probably not on a colder day. Oh, there's my other jar. And that one's empty. Can you go get me a lid with a hole in it? Sorry guys, we're a little frazzled too with all this going on in the dark. I know this video may turn out terrible, but that's the realities of it. I thought I had an extra jar out here with a hole to feed this colony, but I don't see one, so he's gonna grab one real quick. But I'm gonna go ahead and close this colony up because they're ready to go at this point. Just gonna take my little plug out. Okay guys, so we got the queen cell installed. I'm putting the feed up top now in a jar just so it's above the bees and they can access it. They probably won't move over to get to it, but keeping the bees stimulated right now and fully fed and feel like they've got everything they need for these queens to get going is the best way to do it. Best way I know to do it. And it works well for us. Our only issue may be the drone population. And if that's the case, you know, we'll just graft again and do it over and show you how to fix that. But if you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. We appreciate you watching. How about subscribing, and happy beekeeping. And if you're ever wondering what it's like to be a sideline beekeeper versus a hobbyist, this is it. Happy beekeeping.